I'm going to cover the three biggest differences between the most profitable trades businesses that I work with and the least profitable ones that I've seen. I'm Marcos, CEO of Woop. I help trades businesses profit more, so I see this type of stuff all the time, so I'll cover the three biggest differences that I see between the two. So let's get started with the first big difference, and that is pricing. Usually the biggest issue is that they're priced too low, but not because they just put too low prices. That's not the issue in itself. The main issue is not understanding their margins properly. So a lot of the time, I see gross and net margins getting mixed up, which can lead to a lot of confusion when it comes on how to price. What matters the most is that you have enough gross margins to have sufficient net margins at the end of the year. So I see two things happen a lot with the least profitable businesses, that they give themselves, let's say, 50% gross margins randomly because industry standard, that's what they think they need to give themselves. But it isn't enough to cover the rest of their expenses. And that doesn't leave them with enough margin to pay for their office personnel, their marketing, everything, their office. There's a lot of things that need to be paid with your gross margin. So make sure that when you're making gross margin, pays for all that. The second one, they give themselves, let's say again, 50% gross margins, and then they go spend 50% of their revenue, and they think they're covered. They're like, oh, well, we made 50% margin on this job. All right, let's go buy a house, buy a boat, buy, I don't know, whatever, the animal shelter, whatever. Like, they just spend all their gross margin, which you can't. It's not your money just yet. So the key difference between the profitable and the less profitable ones is that the profitable ones understand their costs perfectly. They've nailed their margins. They do a really good job with them. Less profitable ones don't. They don't understand how to properly price themselves to get enough gross margins to have enough net at the end of the year. And sometimes they don't know that the net profits are the real money and not the gross profits. So that's the biggest difference that I see. This one's quite a frustrating one. But if you see it in any business, let them know. I'll help them out. The next big difference, and this is actually what I use as my number one predictor of success for any trades business, and that is communication. A trades business is a service business, which means communication is everything. You can communicate yourself out of anything and probably keep the client. But if you don't communicate, the quality of your service goes down, because communication is part of the quality of your service, and it is one of the most important things. But there's two big ones that I think can be tackled, and they have a lot of leverage to them. Number one is congruency. So it's super important. If you can make it feel like no matter who in your business your client is talking to, make it feel like it's the same person, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love working with you because it's gonna be easy for them. You need a good CRM, first of all, and make sure you don't get scammed. There's a lot of CRMs that will give you a ton of features that you won't use. So find one that gives you what you need. So you need a good CRM, you gotta put notes in there. The tricky part is, how do we get people to talk the same, to really show the same image? I think something important is good training and having good culture in the company, but you need to have your office personnel, your marketing personnel, your sales personnel, and your field personnel talk to each other, and they need to know each other. That's why a lot of the time in family-owned businesses, the communication is so good because they know each other. And it sounds the same because they are the same. They know each other so well that they're on the same page all the time. If it's not a family-owned business and it's not all family within the business, it gets a little trickier. But my recommendation is have them talk to each other. Have monthly, weekly, whatever, bi-weekly meetings with every person from every area that will see customers or that do marketing, right? Because they obviously, customers see what they communicate. So make sure they talk to each other, make sure they know each other and have some sort of relation with each other. It'll make congruency between everyone much easier, on top of having good CRM and making sure people use the CRM. That's the tricky part, is you get a really good CRM and you tell them, hey, use it, and they don't. The next thing I'm going to talk about is honesty. With honesty, it's just make things right. If you mess up, be honest about it and have integrity. Really, honesty and integrity will help you so far. But communicate that. You mess up, overcompensate for it. Communication is what keeps your clients. You get a client in once, you communicate well, you get them again. And that is the cheapest way to get more business. So communication is absolutely key, and that's why it's such a big difference between the most profitable businesses and the least profitable businesses. It's that the profitable ones communicate really, really well. All right, let's move on to the third and final difference for today. There is more, and I'll cover them in other videos, but it's that the profitable businesses don't waste money. They're efficient. So every dollar that the profitable businesses spend has more leverage, has a purpose, whereas in the less profitable businesses, it might not. I'll give two big examples on this. Firstly, is that these businesses will just ask the profitable ones, they'll just ask their vendors if they can get a deal. Quick tip, if you do own a painting business, ask your Sherwin-Williams rep what you can get, because you're going to get a really good deal. So tell them, hey, these are the paints I like, I want to keep buying them, can you drop the price on them? A lot of time, you'll get a really good deal, and every single one of my clients that's in paint has either done that themselves or I've done it for them, and we've gotten really, really good deals from them. So if you paint, give them a call. In any other industry, the profitable businesses will also do the same. They'll ask, they'll look at the materials that they buy often, and they will ask the vendor, hey, what can you do on this? And a lot of the time, the vendor wants to keep your business coming. You've proved to them that you go to them, you give them business, and if you ask, once you're a loyal client, they'll love to give you a deal. So just ask. It helps out. Or you can get a third party to ask as well. And the good thing about the third party is that they might be able to group together quite a few businesses in your industry. On top of already having the relationships with the vendors, they might also have multiple businesses. So now instead of just, hey, these are the total sales we can bring you, what can you help us out with? They're like, hey, we have like 5 times that amount of sales. We can bring you all of these businesses sales. What deal can you do for us? So a lot of time you might be able to get a slightly better deal if you use a third party, but either way, just find a way to ask your vendor what type of deals they can get you, so because you can get a pretty good discount. The second big difference is employee efficiency. Firstly, the profitable businesses don't waste time. They have good processes in place for everything. This is super important. If you have a good process that all your employees can follow for every single thing they do, they don't have to invent their job every single day. And that helps a lot, because the more times they do that process, the better they'll get. But also, you will get a ton of data on how that process works. So it makes it really, really easy for you to continue to improve that process and make it super quick and efficient. So that's the first thing. The profitable businesses, they have those processes in place and they improve them constantly. So, secondly, is they automate everything, everything that they can. There's no point in wasting money on manual data inputs, using paper, and other tasks that are super easy to use with how much technology we have nowadays, especially with AI getting so good. You might think it's super expensive, but it's not. I've done a system for a couple of my clients that automates all the routing for them. So they put in the addresses they have to go to that day, and it will route what the most optimal route is. So one, it saves time on whoever the employee is that's putting out the list of addresses and figuring out how they're going to drive there. And then it saves time for the drivers because they're not going all over the place. So that one, I think it took me like a weekend to do, and it doesn't cost me any money, and I have 3 clients running it right now. So it's like, it's super easy. It's completely, almost free. If you do it yourself, completely free. For my clients, it was based on the amount of time they saved. So it's available out there. It's definitely doable for a cheap price. So give it a try, see what you can do, because the amount of hours you can save, the amount of hours these clients have saved are ridiculous. And it is something that in the profitable businesses, they have it going already, and they do it really, really well. So that is one of the biggest differences, efficiency between the profitable and non-profitable. Profitable ones are efficient, non-profitable ones are not. They don't have leverage within the dollars in their business, which means profit. So, so yeah, those are the 3 biggest differences that I've seen between the profitable and the least profitable businesses. So that's pricing, communication, and efficiency. So the businesses that get these rights are going to make more money, they're going to last longer, and they're also going to be less stressed. You're going to be a lot less stressed on 15% net margins that you are on 2 or 1 or minus 10. So definitely get these right, and your business is going to be super profitable. You're not going to be stressed. If you are running a trades business, take a look at where you're at on these. Try to make improvements where you can, and if you need help, you can count on us. We only charge based on what we save you, so we can figure out, hey, you're inefficient here, you can save some money here, and if you like that, we'll help you, and if not, do it yourself. I'll make more videos on each of these sections on exactly what to do to improve them, so you can do it yourself. But I hope this breakdown helped you, and I'll see you on the next video. If you have any more ideas, leave them in the comments. I'll be willing to make videos on that. Thank you.